right. Hello. Welcome to Kudos for Spilling. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and share button. Today, I have a very, very special guest coming to us from a cruise ship, Lyra Vega.
Hey,
How are you?
I am lovely. I am in the middle of a week off. So my feet have never been more relaxed. No heels in a week.
Wow.
I'm doing great. Yeah. That's my toes are dancing for joy. Yeah. Very that.
Yes, you are one of the hardest working queens in New York City, I have to say. Every time I turn around, you're doing a show at like one of my favorite places, whether it be the Stonewall or Red Eye. And I love to come in and see you perform. And so thank you for being here. I told you, of course, I told you that I had to have you on and pick your brain and everything. Because I love coming to your shows, like every little reference. There's just, you put so much thought into everything you do, and it's really impressive and it's admirable, and that's why I love coming to see you. So, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, my name is Lyra Vega, like Tanya said. And I am a Manhattan-based drag queen, even though right now I'm in the middle of the goddamn ocean. I am based in Manhattan. And I like to say my home bar is Stonewall. That's where I've really grown into my drag. And I've been there the longest. And my basic, I guess, drag aesthetic is always live music based. My name is a constellation of a harp. And so a harp obviously goes along with music. And then constellation, I just love cosmic, kind of ethereal, color palette. So yeah, that's kind of what I like to consider my drag. Yeah.
I love it. Actually, yeah, I consider Stonewall my home as well. So
oh, really?
Yes, for sure. And you are quite the talented musician and singer. I know you from the Bad Judies, right? Which is
right.
a live drag band. You play the keys, you're a flautist, and
yes.
You're a singer. You do a lot. You do a lot, and you're very good at it.
Thanks. Well, yeah, way before I did any drag, I started drag 5 years ago, but I've been a musician since I was literally 4 years old. So I started piano very young. And way before drag, music's always been my number one kind of skill set and passion, and what's gotten me through a lot of difficult times. And it's just my favorite, besides English, it's my favorite language is music for sure. So I love it.
Yeah. And you hit that on the head, because it really is a language, right? And I say it all the time, and it's not an uncommon saying that when words fail, music speaks.
Totally. Yeah.
So how, I know that you went to school for music. How did you get into that? How did that take you on your path towards drag and everything?
So even from very young, like I mentioned, I started playing piano, and I knew kind of early on that was my thing. It was just always it's like a very cliche situation of in middle school, when all the cool kids are eating, I would be in the chorus room playing piano with my two close friends and singing songs. And that continued all throughout life until I became an adult, and now I get paid to do that kind of and play music for people and make people want to sing along. But so I started actually playing only classical piano. That was only classical training from 4 till 16, 17. And then during high school, I also really got into theater. So I love musical theater, and I started music directing shows. And I kind of started intensely, because my first show I music directed was Sweeney Todd, which to this day is my favorite musical. But that was a challenge. That's a really difficult score. And that's when I was 17. But it really taught me a lot about how to navigate teaching a whole cast of singers, and also how to play, Sondheim stuff. That's difficult sometimes. And yeah. And then from theater, it kind of evolved into like a bunch of things. I think theater is very much like drag,
Yes.
where you can learn a lot of different skill sets in performing, from tech to costuming to, obviously singing, dancing, acting to comedy. Like all that stuff is involved in theater too. So that kind of like, I think lends itself to drag pretty easily. And I'm sure like lots of drag queens have theater backgrounds,
Right.
I think, because of that, Yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure. Like I recognize the musical theater kid, in you, because like I see that in a lot of my favorite actually drag performers.
Right.
It's the musical theater aspect, the dramatics, the the drag of it all, and so when did you said you've been doing drag for 5 years? Like what inspired you to step into that? Because it's not theater does lead itself to drag a lot of the times because the components are the same pretty much. What made you decide, what inspired you to start doing the fierce, amazing drag that you do now?
So I guess I'll backtrack because between college and now, because I actually graduated undergrad 10 years ago at this point because I'm 33. So it's been a minute. But actually, so when I first graduated, I was studying music, and then I got my master's in music education. And so for 5 years after graduating undergrad till my late 20s, I was a full-time teacher. And that also goes into drag in different ways, but I'll go to that later. But my students, one in particular, would ask me over and over during choir class if I had caught up with Drag Race. I had watched Drag Race when I was when I was in the closet, like 16. It was on Logo. I remember I'd go to my the basement of my parents' house and sneak watching it. But for me, it kind of like I just dropped off. I didn't really keep up with it. I remember season 1. I remember Chanel's headpiece falling off like vividly when that happened on air. That one was 16, and then I like forgot about Drag Race. Cut to when I'm a teacher teaching choir in high school kids. One of my students would not leave me alone every class, asking if I had caught up with that's the current season. I think it was season 10 or All Stars 3. It was 2019, and I was like, okay, you know what? Fine, I'm gonna watch, and so I can give you my thoughts. And I watched it, and I was like, oh my god, click. This is theater. It's giving makeup. It's giving hair artistry. It's giving costuming. It's giving singing, dancing, acting, etc. So I got really hooked into this idea of drag because my student would not leave me alone until I watched Drag Race. After I took like a big old break from watching it when I was a teenager, and like many other drag queens, I was inspired by Drag Race to try it out. And then from there, I like kind of pulled resources. I have other friends that were in the scene already doing drag, and so I had a friend like give me like a makeup tutorial at my house one day, and I took pictures of every step. And then I practiced makeup for like 8 months before I even walked out of my house because I wanted to be put together enough to not have those, back in the day photos of me looking like an only way to cookie, So like, yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. Season 10, wow, that Aquaria, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Monet Exchange.
Monet. And Miss Cracker, Yoham Saki,
Yes.
The 5 New York girls.
Right.
Davenport was in there. Yeah.
Lots of New York talent comes off that show. Even, season 9 and the winner, Sasha Velour, right? Brooklyn, Aja, Brooklyn, a lot of queens from New York and yeah, but no, that you're absolutely right. That was the same year as All Stars 3.
Yes. Yeah. So I was watching All Stars 3 first, and then into season 10. And I started getting obsessed. I was like, oh my gosh, especially those group numbers at the end.
Oh, those group numbers. Yes.
Yeah. It's giving theater. I'm like, yes, this is awesome.
Yeah. I know. Well, All Stars 3 was Kitty Girl.
Yeah.
All Stars 2, I think we both know.
Yeah, we love that one.
Reggie.
And also, season 10 was American. That was pretty fun too. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, those are always fun, and it's amazing. So your drag band does covers,
Yeah,
and you also take requests on the fly.
you do.
Right. So, you guys have invited me on your stage before to do Reggie Wrote You.
Yeah.
And it's always so much fun. And to do with a live band, it's awesome. You guys are actually, you're not lip syncing. Although you do fiercely,
Right.
but
Yes.
you're
I think everyone expects a drag queen to lip sync, and I agree. I think I love lip syncing. That's a different outlet for me than live music, because lip syncing lets your personality show through, especially when you
Yes.
make mixes, and like it shows your references and your cultural, like where your hand is on cultural things. So I love mixes. I love comedy mixes. I love also just like doing something that's not involving sitting at the piano, because I'm sitting on a live. You know what I mean? So it's nice to get up sometimes and not be sitting on my own junk.
Right. Yeah.
But and it's also a nice chance for everyone to see your full outfit, because at the piano no one can see everything.
Yeah,
So,
and you do wear some really amazing thigh high boots that I've seen. So yeah, no, I like so it's always good to see the full, like, because you put a lot of time into it. And
yes, you have to.
yeah, and like you said, you honed your craft, right, so you could come out looking polished, and
That's exactly it. Yeah.
yeah,
And I also like started drag at a weird time, because I never did like the competition circuit. I've only done one bar competition to this day, one time ever, and that was at the Ritz with Holly Day doing open call, one time ever. But otherwise, I was doing drag, and then I kind of inserted my drag into the music gigs I already had. I already had music stuff going on as a boy. So that way I didn't really do like the pieces, drag wars. I never did like Star Search. I never did, what's the other one? Polish the Queen.
right.
Because I kind of just like made my own lane for myself, because I knew that my gig would always be music based and everybody was doing that. So yeah. But then COVID hit. So I couldn't celebrate my 1 year anniversary of doing drag, because my drag birthday is March 31st and COVID hit March 2020. So
Yes, it
my
did.
first year of drag wasn't celebrated. But we've been just keep going from there. So it's great. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's always a great foundation, like, to have, is the music, that no matter what, you always have that, and you've got like the education, you've even gone that far, but I know that your passion is certainly in performing, and it shows.
Yeah, I love it. Yes.
I know that you have a show coming up on the 13th October.
Yeah, 13th.
October 13th, you have a show coming up. What else do you have coming up? Do you have any solo stuff, like any music that you're recording, anything that you have in the works that you could tell us about?
I can't. All right, there's a few things that are bubbling under that are exciting. But I guess I'll explain for the 13th. That's a show with Bad Judy's, and it's going to be with all four of us. We have a new member who just joined us this past year. Her name's Mercy B. She's a little younger in terms of her drag career, but we're so happy to have her because she is a brilliant violinist, brilliant saxophone player, and just like having all four of us together makes it a really fun ensemble. So it's going to be at City Winery every month, starting this upcoming Sunday, 13th at 1 p.m. And it is a music bingo drag show brunch. That's a lot.
Wow.
Music bingo drag show brunch. So it's going to be a brunch combined with us doing musical numbers, with us also hosting bingo as everyone eats and plays. And instead of regular bingo, each square on your bingo tile or on your bingo board will be a song reference, like a lyric or a song title based on what you're hearing or based on what we're playing. As we go through the show, you'll be able to X out things that are on the board. It's like our first like Ice Palace or Red Eye show, like outside. I mean, we've done other shows, of course, but like I'm saying, like first residency,
Right.
that's recurring. So it's gonna be fun. And it's not a regular music show, it's also like combined with like hosting a game and there's prizes, and it'll be a different type of vibe. So I'm excited about that. And then you asked about music stuff. I'm not going to say too much about this, but we're going to be recording something for Christmas.
Ooh.
I don't want to for the host. We're planning to record a Christmas song, Us Bad Judies, with a very special guest, and hopefully it'll be out by around Thanksgiving. And I'm really excited about it because it's one of my favorite songs. It's a classic song that's been covered by many divas since it's been released in the 70s. I think it came out. But yeah, so I'm really excited about that as well.
That's exciting. Wow. And that's my birthday is on Thanksgiving this year, so that's a nice little present for me.
Okay. Well, look out for your free gifts of music. There you go. Boom.
Yes, absolutely. And you know, you guys give that to me every Monday that I come out and see you guys.
Hey. Love that.
Yeah, I'm so happy to have you on the show, and I am so happy that you were able to join us even on vacation.
It didn't work. Yeah, girl, I got the Wi-Fi package.
That's what I'm talking about, you know.
Even a Wi-Fi package.
And this is the type of comedy and vamping that you get at one of Lyra's shows. Well, no, it's a lot more X-rated, but
oh, totally,
yeah.
Well, if you want to see me like really unhinged, it's always my Stonewall shows are like the most unhinged because it's just me on the mic most of the time by myself, so I get to just say whatever I want. And that's Wednesdays at 9. I love doing that show. It's a mixture of piano bar and drag show, and I have a great time. And my bartenders are fabulous singers and dear friends, so we have fun. We have a lot of fun.
I have to make it to one of those.
It's super fun. Yeah, I love it.
Sounds like my kind of vibe.
Halloween, so we're doing different themes for Halloween. So when I get back, I think our theme's going to be fairy tales. And then the week after that's going to be Wicked in honor of, Wicked coming up soon, the movie.
Yes. That sounds amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Yeah. I can't wait for all of that, and I can't wait to see, where your career takes you next, and I will certainly be following. Yes, you know that that I love you as a performer, and you're such a kind person, and you're so funny, and we get on real well. So yeah, and I can you plug your like Cash App and everything?
Sure. So I believe in a marketing approach that's streamlined, so it's all the same, okay? Mm-hmm. It's Lyra Vega, so itslyravega. It's Lyra Vega. That's all my stuff. That's my Venmo. That's my Cash App with the little dollar sign for it. It's Lyra Vega. That's also my Instagram, so you can find me. I always say if you get lost on the internet and you don't find my Instagram, but you find my Venmo for some reason, that's weird. It's all the same. You can tip me. And,
tip your queens.
The only place that's different is if you like to follow me on TikTok, it's the drag pianist, TheDrag pianist, because I am the drag pianist, at least of New York.
Yes,
maybe
yes. No, you certainly are of New York, and I can vouch for that. So, yes. So everybody, check out Lyra's stuff. Come to Lyra's shows. I promise you, it's always a good time. You will not be disappointed. Yes, it is. It's so much fun and inclusive. And, I always leave your shows feeling great. So, but, I thank you again. I don't want to take so much of your time. I know you're on vacation, and, I will see you when you get back.
I can't wait. And then hopefully you'll be on stage again with us. That's always fun, honey.
I would love to. I would love to. Yes.
I love that.
All right.
Well, be safe, have fun, and thanks for having me.
All right. Yes, it was a pleasure. Work, baby.
Awesome. Talk to you soon.
Bye. Mwah.